We are so lucky. We've got this amazing, largest in the country regional museum service. You know, 9. I'm going 9. Am I right on 9? Thank you. 9 different, very different types of museums and gallery collections, from industrial museums to country house collections to the incredible Discovery Centre. And I think that the very interdisciplinary nature of the collections suits a university like Leeds, which is incredibly interdisciplinary. And what our collaboration across the two organisations allows us to do is continue to stretch the boundaries of what research collaboration looks like.
It brings opportunities for research that we don't necessarily have the capacity to do ourselves. I think it's about, you know, our kind of place within the city, and you know, it just feels like we should be working together. You know, why wouldn't we be working together? And I think there's this incredible kind of repository of knowledge that's held inside people's heads at the university, and to be able to kind of connect into that and look across to kind of our collections and you know, our objects, and have them amplified by you know, other people's knowledge, is just really incredible.
And likewise, everybody who works across Leeds Museums and Galleries, they've built this incredible knowledge. We learn together, and conversations together take us in directions we never thought we'd go to. We've always had a commitment together to reach as many people as we can, and particularly to reach out to those people who wouldn't traditionally feel they had a place in the university or the museum and gallery sector. And that is always at the forefront of everything that we do. I'm an art historian, but I've spent the last few years working with my colleague Graham Gooday from the School of Philosophy, looking at the history of electrification. What really enabled that project to come alive was working with Leeds Museums and Galleries to put together a grant application called Electrifying the Country House.
We also collaborated on a significant programme around World War I and commemorating the World War I centenary between 2014 and 2018, called Legacies of War, which had an AHRC funding attached to it as well. And as Leeds Museums and Galleries, we were kind of leading from our position within the City Council on the city's commemoration. So we had a huge programme across all areas of the city across that time. But one of the really key aspects of it was that collaboration with the university, and you know, enabling those kind of different perspectives and different research areas to come into that programme and just really kind of enrich it.
We decided to work together because we realised that registrar work is such a fundamentally important part of the museum's work, and yet people did not know what museums did, what registrars did. And so that's been an 11-year partnership across the National Museum of the Royal Armouries, Leeds Museums and Galleries, and the university to produce the next generation of registrars and to produce research on registrar work. And it's multifaceted as a relationship.
The Yorkshire Year of the Textile, which was 2016-17, which was coordinated by the university, and we were a partner in. And I think that has a real kind of scope across quite a lot of our venues in Leeds Museums and Galleries. I'm thinking particularly around some installations and community projects that happened at Leeds Industrial Museum, for example.
I mean, in terms of reaching out to young people who've not had the traditional, who've never had an experience of working in galleries. You know, we talk a lot about the challenges of cultural capital and feeling like you belong, or feeling like you're welcome within a gallery space. We have worked together, the museums and galleries, and particularly the art gallery and the Hepworth Gallery have worked together over a number of years to curate what we call Discovery Days, which is about bringing in young people and developing their confidence and their communication skills. The university has had a very embedded and very close relationship with Leeds Museums and Galleries for a very long time, particularly in my School of Fine Art, History of Art and Cultural Studies. I was asked to join the university and to develop the first year module for a new version of the degree when the university took over the degree fully, that would ensure that our students still had really good access to the collections and the museums in their city. And I think that's been a fundamental principle of our collaboration. We decided it would be really important to establish a statement of our intention to continue to work together. And that's when we first designed the Memorandum of Understanding between the university and Leeds Museums and Galleries. And very much supported by the late and very great John Rolls, who understood why it's both brilliant to work together, but important to formalise these relationships in institutional structures. We are very different sorts of organisations, and I think one of the most important things around our collaboration is understanding our different ambitions, our different timetables, even, you know, the way we structure ourselves, and being really aware that it's always about partnership and collaboration. There's no hierarchy. It's always been about working together and working out what works for us as two organisations and where we can learn together.
You know, the university can access funds that, you know, museums or the city council can't, and vice versa. And that can be one of the, you know, the kind of pros of collaboration as well. But equally, you can often find ways of doing things that don't necessarily, you know, just rely on the funding. I think it is about building those relationships.
And you can do an awful lot with relatively little in the first instance, but also building on, I mean, I always love the title Legacies of War, because actually all of the major projects that we've worked on, actually a lot of the minor projects, had a very far-reaching legacy.
I think the Cultural Institute provides a kind of gateway into the university, because I think sometimes when you sit outside the university, you know that there's all these brilliant people there, but you don't know exactly what they're doing, what their areas of research are, and how to get in touch with them. So I think when the Cultural Institute kind of opened, as it were, that just provided a kind of you know, a much more obvious route in, which is really helpful.
Sometimes it makes amazing things. Sometimes it just makes a great conversation that goes nowhere, but that's fine. And sometimes it will generate a multi-million-pound grant and a 5-year programme and books and exhibitions and outreach, and that's amazing as well. But it has to start somewhere. Go into the conversation recognising you are equal partners, recognising that you both have something really exciting to bring. Listen as much as you speak, and trust that each of you will come into the collaboration willingly. And don't be afraid to say, no, I don't think this is going to work, and walk away from it.
I agree. You know, it is about going into that on an equal footing, and just kind of being honest about what you can give and what you might be able to contribute. And you know, some of the practicalities, I suppose, around potentially different timeframes for things, different capacities, you know, just openness to that process, really.
The best collaborations come from genuinely enjoying working with amazing people, and that is why I'm still here doing it after all these years, because I have had so much joy and so much learning and so much fun working with my colleagues in Leeds Museums and Galleries.